Hi, my name is Jake from Pod 2. We are going to be talking about the facial bones in this video. The facial bones are found on the front part of the skull, part of the axial skeleton, and make up all our lovely faces. It is specifically comprised of zygomatic bones, nasal bones, the mandible, maxilla bones, the vomer, palatine bones, the inferior nasal concha, and the lacriminal bones.
There are two zygomatic bones, and they're situated at the upper and lateral parts of the face, and they form the prominence of the cheekbones. And you can see that they're fused together with the maxilla, and then with three bones in the skull, which is the frontal, temporal, and sphenoid bones. And that is your zygomatic bone.
I like it.
The nasal bones are two small bones located just above the nasal opening, and these small oblong bones form the bridge and the roof of your nose. And you can see where it is fused together on both sides, and it's fused down the middle, making it two nasal bones, and it's fused together on the side with each of the maxilla.
There are two bones that form the structure of the mouth. The first is the mandible. It is a U-shaped, single, irregular bone on the facial skeleton. The mandible has several functions. As the largest and strongest bone of the facial skeleton, it houses the lower teeth and provides structure. The mandible is also the only mobile bone of the facial skeleton. Its movement opens and closes the mouth and allows chewing and talking. The other facial bone that forms the structure of the mouth is the maxilla. The maxilla are two bones that are fused together at a midline called the inner maxillary suture. This irregular bone has several roles. Not only does it form the roof of the oral cavity, it houses the maxillary sinus. Another function is that it helps form the walls and floor of the nasal cavity and houses the upper teeth.
The next bone that we are going to talk about is the vomer, which on my friend here is on the inferior part of the nasal cavity along the mid-sagittal line, and it attaches to both the left and right palatine bones and the left and right maxilla bones. And we are also talking about the palatine bones, which are right here. There's two of them, and they are joined by the median palatine suture, and they are connected to the maxilla by the transverse palatine suture.
The next bone we're going to talk about are the inferior nasal concha. So these are inside of the nasal cavity and form the lateral sides of the nasal cavity. These also help to keep the nasal cavity open to allow for adequate airflow of carbon dioxide and oxygen. In part, they're fused to the lacrimal bones, which are right inside of the orbit of the eye, and along with the frontal, sphenoid, zygomatic, ethmoid, and maxilla bones make up the orbit of the eye. The lacrimal bones are actually the smallest and most fragile bones of the face and are located partly where the tear ducts are found.
Now we know the function of the bones of the facial skeleton. We know it supports the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. It attaches the teeth. It provides structure to the face, and it allows you to have facial expressions. Bye!